Welcome to the Wall of Soundtrack, a show where we discuss the music and soundtracks behind the very best TV shows and motion pictures. In this episode, we'll be analyzing and dissecting the music and soundtrack behind James Gunn's hilarious Marvel Universe film, Guardians of the Galaxy. Hey everybody, just a quick update. It's been way too long since my last Wall of Soundtrack or Brewtune podcast episode, but I should have a new episode coming your way where I pair hard rock band Clutch with their signature beer, the New Belgium Clutch Lips of Faith. So be on the lookout for that one. And I also finished a book review where I reviewed Roomful of Mirrors, a biography of Jimi Hendrix by Charles R. Cross. And then I should have some album reviews coming your way. So be on the lookout for new content coming your way. Guardians of the Galaxy is a Marvel Universe film that was directed by James Gunn. The screenplay was also written by both James Gunn and Nicole Perlman. The story surrounds the main character Peter Quill, also known as Star-Lord, a fictional superhero who forges an alliance with a group of space criminals who have stolen a powerful artifact. The film also includes a cast of renowned actors and actresses, including the following: Chris Pratt as Peter Quill or Star-Lord, Zoe Saldana as Gamora, Bradley Cooper as Rocket, Dave Bautista as Drax the Destroyer, Vin Diesel as Groot, Michael Rooker as Yondu Udanta, and Karen Gillan as Nebula. There were also notable cameo appearances in the film from Glenn Close, John C. Reilly, and Benicio del Toro. My returning guest for this discussion is Cy Shackelford. Cy is a writer for the entertainment commentary and review website Action A Go Go. You can follow his articles on the website, www.actionagogo.com, and you can also follow him on Twitter. His Twitter handle is @Shack_House83. Here's my discussion with Cy on the music and soundtrack behind James Gunn's Marvel film, Guardians of the Galaxy. All right, Cy, nice to have you again.
Good to be here. Good to be here, Andrew. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Yeah, the Jaguars won, man. I'm in a great mood.
Oh yeah, my Patriots won, and they're gonna win again today against the Jets.
Yeah, that's gonna be a beatdown, man. But what do you think the score's gonna be?
They're gonna run the scoreboard again, probably, like in the 40s again. It's like Mickey said. It's like Mickey said to Rocky in the first two Rocky movies: "Don't let those bastards breed."
Yeah. But it's pretty interesting with the AB situation, right? Like,
I thank you, Antonio Brown, for getting us all those points that you got us last week and how great you look. But if you just kept your mouth shut, you'd still be on a winning team. You'd still be on a team. Yes, idiot. Yeah, it's like you're like Terrence Howard in the first Iron Man movie, dude. You were the first one cast. He was the first one cast in the film before Robert Downey Jr. And with the success of the first film, he would have gotten more money and stayed on if he kept his mouth shut. Now look what happened to him. Yeah. He got replaced by Don Cheadle, and now he's doing Empire on Fox, which is an exaggerated version of the music business.
Who do you think is going to pick him up?
Who's going to pick up
AB?
At this point right now, nobody. He's poison.
Yeah.
He's stupid as hell. Why would you? I understand that he'd have a second accuser come at him, no doubt, but it's like, okay, you didn't have to be talking shit to her on social media, leaving threatening voicemails, or talking shit about her kids. If you've not done none of that, and now you talk shit about Bob Kraft, so now you ain't nobody gonna pick you up after that.
Okay.
And you ain't getting that $9 million in guaranteed money now neither.
Yeah. Ain't nobody got time for that, right?
Nobody got time for that shit, no doubt.
But what's going on, man, with Action A Go Go lately?
We might be trying to do something for the month of October, seeing as how it's Halloween. And one of our friends, John Holmes, he recently produced and directed a movie. He's a big horror fan himself.
I'm sorry.
John
Holmes?
That's his real name, yeah. Yeah, he's local film buff. Shout out to John. And he loves Italian cinema, particularly Italian horror. And I think his directorial debut, which will be at AFI Silver on October 6th on Sunday, it's going to be in that horror vein that he has a very big knack for.
Okay. So I'm sure he's never caught shit for having that name, right?
I give him shit frequently.
So,
and addition to that, what's it called? I was in Adams Morgan last week for a rap show at the Songbird. I haven't been to Adams Morgan since I was in my 20s.
yeah, I mean, that place is always a shit show, man.
It's like how the end of St. Elmo's Fire was. It's like yeah. It's like when they all at the end of the film, all the postgraduates are like, why don't we go down to brunch at such and such? Like, can we go somewhere else? That place is so many 20-year-olds.
Yeah.
That's why I stopped going to Adams Morgan, but
Yeah. It's just whenever I've been down there, dude, it's like there's just so many people there and it's impossible to get out of there. Like, I mean, it's just.
It was easy to get in there and get out of there this time around, too. I went during the day. It was to see Marlon Craft. He's from Hell's Kitchen, a rapper from Hell's Kitchen. He went to school down here in AU.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a dope rapper, dude. Check his album out, Funhouse Mirror. Check that out.
Okay. Will do, man. Will do. So I saw on the Action to Go-Go website you did a trailer analysis of The Irishman. I mean, what are your thoughts on this so far?
I'm just glad to see Scorsese's back in the game and he's gotten all these old heads now. I mean, yeah, let's face it, they are old guys, but they still got it where it counts in terms of their acting ability. He got De Niro and Pacino on the same screen, and not only that, he brought Joe Pesci's little ass out of retirement too.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see how many cuss words this guy lays down in this film. Right? I mean,
seriously.
Maybe he can top Goodfellas. Who knows? Or Casino.
Maybe. Or I mean, didn't The Departed already top that? And I mean, as far as Scorsese films go,
yeah. I mean, it has to be close. Like, it seems like every other word is a cuss word in that movie.
Yeah, and especially if it comes out of Joe Pesci's mouth.
Yeah. So it'll be exciting, man. I heard there's a lot of other. Well-known actors and comedians in it. Al Pacino playing Jimmy Hoffa, and then Sebastian Maniscalco. I think he plays another gangster. I forget who it actually is, but then I think Jim Norton's actually in the movie too.
Little Jimmy Norton, the comedian.
Yeah, he plays Don Rickles. Like
Don Rickles. I hope they let him ad-lib because Jim Norton can come out with some shit.
Yeah. So I mean, and it was amazing. I saw pictures of like the makeup that they put on him, and like he lost a lot of weight, so now they had to kind of put some more weight back on him to make him look like Don Rickles.
I mean, he has lost weight in like recent years. I mean, in like 2 seasons back on the Starz TV series Power, he played one of the many drug kingpins on there. He played a Catholic priest of all people, who was using his Catholic boys to sell drugs.
Jeez.
He's like, I'm only in it for the money, but still going around giving confessions and whatnot.
I've watched his show. I think it's Sam and Jim. I think it's called Jim and Sam or Jim and Sam.
Because he got away from Opie and Anthony, right?
Yeah. It's pretty good. He still has some pretty good people come on, and he had Michael Madsen on. Oh my God,
Michael Madsen. That guy is so unlike the characters that he portrays.
Yeah, he's so chill, man.
Yeah,
and it was actually pretty funny.
I believe that
to watch.
I believe that because Jim Norton, even on radio, I remember I heard this one thing when some feminist chick called in when he was with Opie and Anthony to talk about how disgusting he was and whatnot when he tried to accuse him of calling all women pigs. But Norton, he's a true comedian. It's like how we in the DMV area, how we joan on each other left and right, snap back with insults. Norton is good at that too. He just knows he just snapped right back at this comedian left and right. Told her, "You have the wit of an autistic."
Oh, jeez.
I'm like, well, that almost makes her prodigious if you think about it, though.
Man, he's a great comedian.
I seen him. I saw him. What's it called? The Lincoln Theater.
Yeah,
a few years ago, and I got Monster Rain on DVD too, the HBO special.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to check that out. Yeah, man. So this movie, Guardians of the Galaxy, man, this is a good film. Good Marvel film. Really funny, great music. I mean, I'm so glad I got the opportunity to watch this because, I think you're a little bit more in the Marvel universe than I am, and yeah. The last 2 films that I've seen, this one and Deadpool, I was very impressed with.
Yeah, Deadpool wasn't even under Marvel Studios; that was under Fox. But it broke a lot of barriers, I think, too. It definitely forced a lot of these other comic book movies to step their game up because, okay, they got something like Deadpool that's self-referential, beyond rated R.
Yeah.
And still was critically and commercially acclaimed. And Marvel Studios, you got to give some of your darker, harder edge, dark humor characters a chance on screen, too. But with Deadpool, with Fox being bought out by by Disney, the Fox Studios or whatever, they got Deadpool back now anyway. So Disney, Marvel, they're gonna do something with that in a few years, I imagine.
Nice. And dude, there's so many great actors and actresses in this movie. I was just so surprised by the cast and these cameos too. I mean, like Benicio del Toro's in it.
That wasn't expected, although we saw him a few years prior in the post-credit scene of Thor: Dark World, where they're giving one of the Infinity Stones to Benicio del Toro's character, and they reveal him to be the Collector. And I was clapping. It's like they're going deep into the Marvel cosmic characters now.
Yeah. And then I think Glenn Close was
Nova Prime.
Yeah, she was in the film, and she's an amazing actress.
She is, yeah. I mean, Nova Prime usually is anybody, but I guess they had to put the Nova Empire in the film because they couldn't use the Avion aliens called the Shi'ar because they were under the X-Men properties at the time, which was under Fox. Okay. So they had to use a Nova Corps instead. Yeah. Which worked because Nova, that's a good Easter egg too.
Yeah. And I was also surprised that Bradley Cooper was in the film because like he plays Rocket.
The Rocket Raccoon, yeah, gave the voice, yeah.
And his voice, it doesn't really even sound like Bradley Cooper. I mean, it sounds like different.
Like an Italian New Yorker almost.
Yeah, it almost sounded like that one actor from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, which one?
I'm trying to remember. He usually has like a goatee. He's a smaller guy, and he was in Horrible Bosses.
Oh, I remember him. Yeah.
It almost sounded like him at some points, and I'm like, who is this? Like, I'm like, who's doing the voice for this character?
But I'm looking at Bradley Cooper's character, Rocket Raccoon, and Vin Diesel's character, Groot, and I'm thinking from The Lion King. I'm like Timon and Pumbaa.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was Vin Diesel. I mean, I guess
Me neither. At first, I was thinking that Batista's character, Drax. I'm like, I was thinking that was Vin Diesel because I'm used to seeing, well, they're both bald and they're both muscular. Yeah. And I'm not used to seeing Batista speak at all. I'm used to seeing him just wrestle.
Yeah, that guy is jacked, man.
He is. And who else? And Zoe Saldana, she was a Gamora. Yeah. Sarah Gilliam, she was a Nebula, the blue skin one. Yeah. And Chris Pratt, this is good. This was good for him too. Yeah, being Star-Lord.
And it was kind of a role I've never really seen him in like comedy roles. Me like this was kind of new for him, and I thought he really kind of branched out.
But months before that, he was the voice of the lead character in the Lego Movie too, and that was a really good film, I thought. Yeah, very imaginative. And also, I want to say with this Guardians of the Galaxy film, Marvel took a chance doing this one. Disney took a chance doing the Guardians of the Galaxy, especially this lineup of the Guardians, because not only are they not the Guardians that I grew up reading back when I was a 10-year-old, like Major Victory, Charlie 27, Starhawk, etc., Star-Lord, Rocket Raccoon, Groot. These motherfuckers are all D-list characters. Yeah. And the fact that it went as successful as it did, you know what that means? You know what Marvel was doing? You know what Disney was doing to DC Comics, their rival, and DC Films? They're saying this. We took these D-list characters and we're pissing in your mouth now.
Yeah, it seems like they're dominating right now. I mean,
Marvel is dominant. Their formula cannot be broken. I mean, yeah, they're taking like a year or two off, or more or less, in order to get to Phase 4. Especially with Spider-Man now being out of the MCU. Sony didn't want to play ball with their joint venture deal, so they took Spider-Man out. But they'll be back when they come to their senses.
Yeah. I mean, there's just so much material to work with, too, right?
And so much money for Sony to make as well. Yeah.
And there's a huge fan base. I mean, like...
Spider-Man Far From Home, the one that came out this year right after Avengers Endgame, Far From Home was better than Homecoming, I thought.
Yeah. I'm really surprised, like, since... You feel like paper media is kind of dying out, and like comic books, like, people collect comic books, but I was very surprised how huge the fan base was, because like I felt like it kind of, maybe just in my opinion, died out a little bit. But then when they brought back and kind of tested the waters with X-Men and how well that was received, I was like, damn, this is like a brilliant idea,
Yeah, movie studios jumped all over. Yeah, when X-Men hit big in the box office in 2000, yeah, movie studios. It's like what they said in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Movie studios wanted to get their greedy little hands on every comic book property out there. Yeah, that's what happened eventually. Until Marvel Studios like, fuck this, we need to make our own studio and do our properties right.
and they're making another Jay and Silent Bob, right? Did you see the trailer for that?
I saw the trailer for that, yeah.
It looks hysterical.
I'm going to go see that. Because Smith hasn't had a comedy like this in a long time, since Clerks 2.
And we did the soundtrack of The Wire, and I'm the guy who the driver, I forget his name. He usually tours with Dave Chappelle. He was in the Chappelle Show. Little like he's a bald guy. He played Damien
Donnell Rollins.
Yeah,
he played Day Day.
He's in the trailer. He plays the cop. He's like, "Come out with your heads up."
And playing a cop though, that's funny.
Yeah, and then they come out, and then he's doing the tuck from Silence of the Lambs.
Oh yeah, they're still doing that. They've been doing that since Clerks 2.
Yeah, they just keep making fun of that movie, man. And I mean, it's a movie that you can make a lot of fun of.
It is. There's a lot of material you can parody, no doubt.
Yeah, so I think it looks awesome, and I'm glad that Kevin Smith is really coming out and keeping the series alive.
I'm glad, because after Tusk, I was like, what the fuck were you doing? Because that movie, I saw Tusk and I was like, did you see that movie?
No, I didn't see it.
Or he takes, basically it's body horror pretty much, and he takes a dude, kidnaps a guy, and like turns him into a human walrus. Like chops his legs off, adds up other people's skin, it adds like a bone to his mouth. It's disgusting. I know with a cringer laugh. Yeah, it's like the human centipede.
Jeez. Yeah, I don't know. Some directors should stick to one genre, right?
Yeah, not body horror. I don't work with Smith. It's like, oh, were you trying to be Cronenberg?
Yeah, no, nobody can be Cronenberg. But
yeah,
let's jump into the soundtrack, man. So this is an awesome soundtrack.
Yeah, the soundtrack of the film, dude. When I saw this in a theater, I was breaking out my Shazam every 2 minutes because they had a cool song like on every few minutes. I'm like, what is this? I got to add this to my iPod when I go home. Yeah,
I mean, it was just a real incredible soundtrack. And I mean, I learned a lot about music through some of the songs because some of these I didn't know.
Yeah, me
but
neither.
I was like, damn, this is a good song. So we, jump into the first song here by 10cc, I'm Not in Love. I really like how they used this song here for essentially the opening scene.
Oh yeah, when Peter's mother is passing away.
And the band name too, 10cc. Like I think of like a hospital when I hear that.
10 cubic centimeters.
Yeah, it's usually used by it's a term used by doctors when they administer medications.
It is.
So I like how they I thought that was real clever by the music supervisor and the director James Gunn. But yeah, this is have you heard this song before? Because I
hadn't heard this song before, but by 10cc, the only song they ever did that I had heard prior to this was Dreadlock Holiday.
Okay.
I heard it in the movie Snatch.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I guess they're an English progressive rock band, so I guess it kind of makes sense that Guy Ritchie, him being English.
Yeah, that he would use it, yeah.
Yeah.
And Dreadlock Holiday was a hit, and this song, I don't know if it actually charted at all, but it sounds like it could have at some point.
Yeah,
it's mellow and very lush.
Yeah, and I think that's like perfect for this scene. Really, I mean, it kind of fits in with the
loss of a parent.
Yeah, the theme and the emotion. Like, plus, I think the lyrics also kind of play off of the kind of troubled relationship between Peter and his mom, where he essentially doesn't take her hand, and then she passes away.
Yeah, he's in denial about her dying. Yeah.
Yeah, and if we look at the lyrics, it says, "I like to see you, but then again, that doesn't mean you mean that much to me. So if I call you, don't make a fuss. Don't let your friends about the two. Don't tell your friends about the two of us. I'm not in love. No, it's because."
You could be interpreted as that too. Yeah, and it's like, or the way the writer intended it originally, like they're telling a girl like, what we have is just a fling. That's it. I'm not in love with you.
Yeah. So,
or his relationship to Earth, because right after his mother dies and he runs out of the hospital, he gets taken right away from Earth, and he's 10 years old, and this is 1988.
Yeah.
Yeah. So his relationship with Earth is pretty much gone.
Yeah.
And it's lampshaded by Avengers Endgame, and I mean Avengers Infinity War that came out in 2018. They lampshaded that when Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark's character, makes fun of him for not her line where he says, where Stark realizes that Quill is from Earth, he's like, "You're from Earth. I'm not from Earth. I'm from Missouri." "Yeah, Missouri is on Earth, you dipshit."
Idiot. Yeah, man, I love Robert Downey Jr., man. I think he's such a great actor.
Yes, or as he puts it, an incredibly gifted faker. Because when they casted him for Iron Man back in 2007, I was like, okay, given what I know about the character's backstory and his personal history with being an alcoholic, they got the right guy for this.
Yeah.
And when they showed the trailer, I'm like, this is going to be big.
Yeah.
And Lord knows, even though it was released before The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight was a better film, I think, I can't deny Iron Man, it left its mark.
Yeah, I thought it was a great idea, a great film.
And brought back Robert Downey Jr.'s career. That, Sherlock Holmes, and Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, and I love to see comebacks, and I thought, I was just really happy for him that he kind of got his stuff together and is back on screen, just killing it,
Yeah, him and Mickey Rourke the same year with The Wrestler too, and Rourke later appeared in Iron Man 2 as the main villain.
Nice. So we go to our next song here. It's by Redbone, "Come and Get Your Love." I think this is perfect as well. Perfect song to use. Peter, I think he's running to his ship, or he's already in his ship, escaping. And then,
or going to look for, he's going inside that place looking for the orb.
I'm sorry. I jumped ahead of myself. Yeah. He's looking for the orb and he's kind of kicking those creatures.
He still got the Walkman, the tape player, cassette tape player, the Sony Walkman that his mother gave him with the where
awesome,
does he get
awesome mix.
Yeah. Where's he get the batteries for that though? It's been like 20 something years since he's been away from Earth.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
They recharge batteries with the technology they got, or I don't know, but
I think you pointed out some story continuity issues there, right?
They'll figure something out. I mean, what's it called? By the second film, he's using a Microsoft Zune, and that's 2014. A good 2 years after the Zune was discontinued.
So a little bit of technology evolution there, right?
More or less, yeah. But this song, yeah, come and Get Your Love. The first time I heard this was actually the cover version of it when I was in middle school by the techno electronic group The Real McCoy.
Okay.
Yeah, but this original version, I like this one better.
Yeah, and this is I like how, he's singing it and he's kicking those like creatures, and he picks one of them up and starts he kind of uses it as a prop, as
a microphone. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of funny but disturbing at the same time.
A little bit, yeah. It's like, dude, I hope you didn't hurt that thing. But at the same time, it really is a good counterpoint from the somberness of the opening scene and transitions to this kind of a humor.
Yeah,
upbeat with an upbeat pop song playing.
Yeah, it almost reminded me of that scene in Tim Burton's the first Batman, where Jack Nicholson,
party man.
And they have the music playing. He's going through just trashing things,
trashing all the paintings. Yeah,
yeah.
That scene is funny. I love that scene.
Yeah, I mean, I love that movie. That's my favorite Batman movie is Tim Burton's version,
the original.
Yeah, I thought
mine too.
Yeah. Jack Nicholson was just incredible, and
Keaton was the best Batman, I thought.
Yeah, in my opinion.
Although Bale was the best Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. I mean, I think with the growling and everything, the screaming and stuff.
Swear to me,
it's just a little too much.
It was, yeah. I would take you more seriously if his voice as Batman wasn't so laughable.
Yeah. I think he overdid that a little bit, but. Yeah, this song is great, man. I think it also works well with the scene. It kind of references the orb indirectly,
and all the characters, the main characters that are part of the Guardians crew, including Quill, because Come and Get Your Love. They're all bounty hunters, criminals.
Yeah,
going after money. That's their love.
And this is essentially in so many words, come and get your money, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Come and steal the orb.
But the orb turns out to be more than any of them thought it would be.
Yeah. So then we go to our next track. It's by the Raspberries.
Oh, I love this song.
I like it. Go All the Way.
Yeah, when I heard it, I was like, what is this? Brought my Shazam out. I was like, hope no one's looking at me. Yeah. Get mad right now that my light's showing. I want to know this song, goddammit. I don't want to wait till I go home.
Surprised no one went off on you in the movie theater.
Probably because they were doing the same thing too.
Yeah. And I mean, this is a great song. It works real well with the scene. Essentially, Peter finds that what's it? Barit's her name, or
you remember her name before he did.
Yeah.
He didn't even remember her name. He's like, hey,
how did you get here? I thought you weren't here.
Barit. In all honesty, I didn't even know you were here when I took off. At least you're honest.
Yeah, and I mean, the song title "Go All the Way" definitely references to sex there,
and it's a reference to Star Trek too, because what's it called? You got Peter Quill, Star-Lord, and he's got some alien chick he's smashing, and we know Captain Kirk smashed everything in the galaxy, even the ugly chicks.
Oh my god, man! But yeah, I mean, it's a great track, and I didn't know that much about this band initially, the Raspberries, but
me neither.
They're the British pop band from the 70s, very influenced by the British invasion, bands like the Beatles, bands like the Who, etc. So
they felt more punk to me with this song right here. Go all the way, yeah.
Yeah, it sounded like a little more, of a punk vibe there, hard rock vibe. But yeah, that's the information I got off of them from my research. But yeah, it's a great song. Definitely, I'm definitely gonna buy it probably, or
Oh, you'll find it on vinyl, dude.
Yeah, it's a great one. But then we go to the next song, Blue Swede.
This is such the way this song was used is such dark humored. It's like, okay, kids are gonna be laughing at this, but they're not gonna see it with the same humor that an adult sees it as with.
Yeah, the band is Blue Swede, Hooked on a Feeling, and essentially the scene is Peter, Gamora, Rocket, and Groot they're in prison.
Yeah, on Kiln, where the Nova Corps, where they hide that's where they imprison all the people.
Yeah, and it's just an hysterical scene. I mean, with the imagery, the visuals, kind of reminded me of like movies like Shawshank Redemption, where Andy's getting sprayed down.
Yeah.
There's kind of just scenes there. I'm like, are they kind of like trying to poke fun at Shawshank Redemption?
Like, they did the same thing in Deadpool too, where they sprayed him in order to get a reaction to get his power out of him, and with Mr. Sandman playing in the background.
Yeah. That it did remind me of that scene as well when Deadpool. So it's just like I wasn't expecting to hear a song like this when it's got a lot of dark humor to it.
And speaking of Shawshank, what's it called? I was thinking because it was such a box office failure, right? But critically acclaimed.
Yeah.
It's still, you see how it's still parodied in movies like the ones we just mentioned, right? Deadpool and Guardians as well. Do you remember the Naked Gun Part 3 where they kept just parodying it left and right for the Oscar ceremony they had in there?
Yeah.
What's going to be the best picture? They were looking for like a bomb, right? An actual bomb. And then the award ceremony, he finds the award, and the award for best picture. Is this it? Okay, it's the bomb. This is it. And then Shawshank Redemption people get up and they like, thank you, everybody.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Only it was called Sawdust and Mildew, was what the movie was called.
Sawdust and Mildew.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And then they kind of also played off of it in that movie where like Leslie Nielsen's in the prison and he's like kicking his shoes and all the sand
dirt comes out and it comes out as a giant pile that he's standing on top of. Yeah.
And they're playing baseball.
Getting rid of the dirt was no problem. I'm like, wow.
That movie, man, then all the Naked Gun movies are just hysterical.
They are. The first one, that has the most replay value for me. The second one has the most political in jokes.
And then they had O.J. Simpson as well.
And all three of them, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was so funny.
It's before he went and killed his wife.
Yeah. It was
I said it, he did it.
What's crazy is that I was watching something on YouTube and it was the comedian Steve Harvey.
Yeah.
And he was interviewing Cuba Gooding Jr. For like I think it was the TV movie he did on OJ.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he didn't even hold back. He's like, I just want to stop you for a second, Cuba. He's like, and I'm just going to say this. OJ killed those people. Like, he's like, there's no question. Like, he just like stopped them and like said it with a straight face. And I was just like, whoa, like my jaw dropped. I was like,
you thought Steve Harvey would have just like stood to say OJ didn't do it?
I didn't know what he was going to say. I think I was just shocked at, like, I was very surprised that he felt so strongly and decided to share his opinion on it.
I don't blame him. I mean, I remember when the verdict came out when I was in 7th grade. And I remember that day because Pepsi products were on sale, like at every supermarket you go to. And when the verdict happened, it's just like Chris Rock said, black people are too happy, white people are too mad. Yeah, he was like, people going around talking about, we won. I'm like, he did this shit. Even back then, I'm like, the evidence is all against him, and never mind.
It was just a feeling of mixed emotions.
and plus, he probably pretty much shot himself in the foot years later when he put that book out, If I Did It.
This is how I would do it. It's like, are you crazy, man?
Are you crazy? Yeah, that's like an inheritance, a dead giveaway.
Idiot. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. It's crazy. It's crazy stuff, But,
it is.
But
and this scene too, where you mentioned that where Peter Quill calls the guard a blue bastard while he's getting electrocuted. Blue electricity.
Yeah.
Yeah, blue suede.
Yeah, there's like definitely some humor there.
Yeah, there's some meta humor, meta commentary in there. Like they did that shit on purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's hysterical, man. And
You mentioned it was used in the TV show Ally McBeal.
yeah, it was used there as well. And I was like, because I played the song off of YouTube and I heard that like ooga chaka, ooga chaka, ooga ooga, and then I was
And
like, I know this song.
Reservoir Dogs too.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that's pretty awesome that they used it in this setting. But it was great. It was a really great
I like how
song
they
to
used it.
include.
Yeah. It was hysterical watching it in the theater too.
Yeah,
And the fact that they got all these songs in here, it's like, okay, how much did your budget cost? Just your music budget? Was it more than the film itself?
yeah. I mean, you gotta wonder, right? I mean,
Yeah, I mean they recouped, no doubt. I mean,
Yeah.
the film was big a success.
yeah. I mean, and going to our next song by David Bowie, Moonage Daydream. This is probably one of the top songs I think that was in there. And I love how it kind of meshed really well with the like space theme and like
Oh yeah,
like futuristic kind of theme, because David Bowie was all about that kind of
the
psychedelic.
psychedelic sci-fi thing, especially back in the 70s with the Ziggy Stardust character.
Yeah, and that album is just so epic.
It
on
is.
so many levels.
This was a movie that made me want to go out and buy that album. I went to CD Depot on Route 1
Yeah,
and found the album there. It's like, okay, let me just bring this home because the only song I really know of here is Starman.
yeah.
But this song, Moonage Daydream, it made me want to check it out even more. It's like, okay, this is one of the best purchases I made.
And David Bowie, not to go on a total tangent, but that range of that guy. I mean, he was in movies. I mean, he was a musician.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm trying to remember that movie he was in. It was like a futuristic movie as well with Emilio Estevez. He plays like a cop or something going after Emilio Estevez.
Not what's it called, Free Jack.
Might be that one. I'm not sure.
Where
But-
Emilio Estevez is a race car driver and he gets killed, but his body gets sent into the future. And Anthony Hopkins and Mick Jagger, they're in it as well. So it's Rene Russo.
Yeah, maybe that's the one.
I don't remember David Bowie being in it.
Maybe. All right, no. You know what? I'm sorry. I'm getting David Bowie mixed up with Mick Jagger.
Okay, yeah. And additionally, David Johansen was in that film too.
I feel like David Bowie was in a movie though.
Labyrinth is the only movie I can remember him
Okay.
being in.
Yeah, maybe that was it. Sorry.
But you're right, his versatility though, in spanning genres. I mean, pop, hard rock, and even funk. Like what's it called? The song Fame.
Yeah.
Remember that song? The first time I heard that song was in a movie. Was in Next Friday, the Ice Cube movie. Next Friday.
Really?
The scene where we see Pinky, the Jerry curl driver who dresses in pink, guard most of the time. The scene where we see him get out of his limo and he starts talking shit to his driver. That Fame song was playing in the background.
Nice.
I'm like, but that scene though, that scene is still funny to this day.
That guy, you just hate him. Like he's an easy guy to hate in that movie. That character.
He is, yeah.
The whole time you just want to beat him up. I mean,
You do. It's like, what's it called? You talking shit to your driver, talking about he almost made you spill your liquor on your $200 suit. Your $200 suit. You act like that shit's worth $2,000.
yeah. I mean, what a great movie though.
That movie's funny as hell. Still, I hope they come out with the fourth one though.
Yeah, that would be great. But the lyrics for this song and Moonage Daydream just fit up so well with the scene of Peter Quill's holding a ray gun, and then when you go back to the lyrics, keep your electric eye on me, babe. Put your ray gun to my head. And press your space face close to mine.
And they're going inside of a giant celestial head, is where the collector is residing at, and it looks like a mining colony too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like a dead galactic corpse planet, as you called it.
Yeah.
Nowhere is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Then the next song by Rupert Holmes, Escape. This is like where the comedic value kind of is at it as that
if you want
highest.
Exactly. Like if you want people to know that you got like a big modicum of humor in your film, put this song in there.
Yeah, I like pina coladas.
Because I've heard this in so many movies: Mars Attacks, Grown Ups.
Yeah,
this one.
I always think of a beach when I hear this movie or hear that song.
Pina coladas.
Yeah.
And I'd never even had a pina colada on no beach before at all.
Yeah, and the song, you would think it like the song title would have something related to pina coladas, but it's called Escape.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, because that's true. That's true because that's what they're trying to do at that point.
Yeah,
escape from Kiln or what's it called yes, escape from wherever the hell they're at, Kiln or the collector's area. Yeah. And Quill's not leaving. Like, fuck that. I'm not leaving until I get my Walkman back.
And they're all angry about him. They're waiting for him in the ship, and they're like, "What the hell is he doing?" Like,
and Drag's like, "You went back for this?" Yes. You're an imbecile.
Yeah.
Idiot. Wait, Drax is such a literalist, though. That's what makes it funny.
Yeah, and like it's so funny how they write his like words in the script. It's like he just talks like overly serious, you know?
He is, yeah. And it's like, and Drax, I knew about, he's a character I knew about, but he wasn't one of the Guardians that I grew up on neither. I knew about him because he's actually a weapon against Thanos, who they show in the film, Josh Brolin's character, right?
Yeah.
Drax is actually a human, just like Quill is. He's a real estate agent who got killed by Thanos, but Thanos' dad and Thanos' grandfather took his soul, put him inside an indestructible body, and gave him a monomaniacal desire just to kill Thanos.
Okay.
Which is what he tries to do in the film when he calls Thanos and Ronan down to the collector's area. It's like, you idiot.
Yeah.
Idiot.
It's like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah. And the Guardians are looking at him like, you stupid fuck.
He's just trying to face off with them and like be macho.
Yeah, be macho. Yeah, it's like, dude, there's no subtlety about you at all.
Yeah, and then he got beat down, right?
Yeah, he got beat down, yeah.
So, yeah, this song's funny though, man. Like when they're playing it, and you think they're just playing it in the background, but then when you know, Quill walks into like the blue guy, his like office, you see him actually listening to that song on his headphones on, and you see him turn, and then he hits him with the orb, right?
Yeah, he hits him right
in the head.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was funny. Like, you don't mess with somebody's Walkman, man.
Yeah, that's in his case. Yeah, that has sentimental value to it too.
Yeah, so pretty hysterical. Then we go to our next song by Elvin Bishop, "Fooled Around and Fell in Love." So this is played when Peter's essentially trying to seduce Gamora.
Yeah, but She-Wolf says, "I will not succumb to your pelvic sorcery." Pelvic sorcery. I'm like, I want to use that.
Yeah, that's a good one, right?
It is, yeah. And this song by Elvin Bishop, we just talked about the Pina Colada song a few moments ago, and I had heard that in the Adam Sandler movie Grown Ups. But this Elvin Bishop song, I heard that years prior to Grown Ups in another Adam Sandler movie. What's it called? Big Daddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the scene where him and the boy are at the bar watching the goddamn Jets. Yeah, that's what they are today since they're playing New England, by the way. But anywho.
Yeah, that's gonna be a blowout.
Oh yeah, yes. Yeah, the Jets can kiss their season down the toilet. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's gonna be. It's not gonna be a very interesting game because it's gonna be like a 60-point game, I'm sure.
Oh, probably. It's gonna be like how when Maryland they beat Howard University like 70-something-0.
Yeah.
That was horrible, and they got Cam Newton's brother as a quarterback at Howard, and they were not protecting that fool at all.
Yeah, I think some of those colleges actually they get money for playing like the better conference teams,
even if they lose.
Yeah, they get paid like a lot of money.
Blue chips.
yeah, it's the crazy way the NCAA works, right?
Yeah, crazy. Still, even now.
Yeah.
This scene though, where Star-Lord is trying to seduce Gamora by having her listen to the Walkman, trying to teach her about music and the art of seduction in the process, but it doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't. I think his charm fails.
He tried earlier with her too when she was talking about his ship.
Yeah,
talking about how his ship is unclean and it's filthy, and then he retorts back by saying, "Oh yeah, you're right. If you put a black light on it, it would look like a Jackson Pollock painting." And I was like, "How did they get that? Yeah, kids won't get that, but I got it."
Oh, yeah. How did they get that through? Right, the ratings.
yeah. Because the first place I heard that was Entourage with Seth Green's character saying it to Eric.
Oh, talk about a character I hated on that show was Seth Green's character.
Yeah, he's playing himself too, or a fictionalized version of himself. I'm like, you're not even playing James like how James Woods was playing it. He was funny.
Yeah, drama. Give me my fucking tickets.
And shove your head up Turtle's ass. Give me my fucking tickets.
He pretty much has an outburst like in Any Given Sunday. He just loses his mind.
His part was funny. He's like, the second stringer, he fell off what? The bench?
Yeah. He just he has so many zingers in that movie. Like,
he does.
Yeah, it's great. But this song, I'm not very familiar with Elvin Bishop. I mean, as an artist, I guess he's a blues musician, right?
English blues musician, yeah. And the version of this song they played in the film was the album version because they were playing lyrics in there that I hadn't even heard in the song before, and which makes me realize I've been hearing the single version all these years.
Yeah, and the lyrics, I think, really highlight how Peter Quill's kind of a womanizer. I must have been through a million girls. I love them. And I'd leave them alone. I didn't care how much they cried. No, sir. Their tears left me cold as a stone, but then I fooled around and fell in love.
Yeah, which is true because he does like Gamora a lot. He is in love with her, and by Avengers Infinity War, we'll see how deep it goes.
Yeah. Then we have the Runaways, right? That's our next song, Cherry Bomb.
Oh yeah, these chicks, they could rock hard.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of oh god, what was that band? That rock band that had was it the oh god, I'm blanking on it right now. I saw them at HF Festival. The Donnas, that's what it was.
Take it off.
Yeah, the Donnas. Yeah, that's that. Sorry, I was having a memory lapse there.
Me too. I was figuring you were going to say that, but I wanted to see who you said first before I jump in.
Yeah, I needed help there. I may have needed help there for a second, but this song is pretty awesome. I like how like it's really aggressive sounding, punk rockish kind of.
Like, oh yeah, they're headed back to Xandar to bring the fight to Ronan.
Yeah, it's a good song to kind of G's up the audience and
it gets you pumped up. Yeah, you watch as they're getting ready for the fight too. It's like their Eye of the Tiger job, like.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's a perfect song to use.
And Cherry Bomb, like Hello World. Yeah, we're coming back to Xandar. We are gonna fuck y'all up.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of, we were talking about The Wire, that one song by Iggy Pop. That one that it was like where Ziggy gets kind of thrown out of his car by Method Man.
Oh yeah. He's pulled out of the car. They take his car and just leave him with that broke ass coat.
Yeah.
I'm like, you had a bad morning, dude.
Yeah. That character. I feel so bad for him.
You get punked by Frog, and then you get punked by Cheese Wagstaff.
Yeah. And then your car gets burned. Right?
Oh yeah. And Nick's like, well, you won't have to worry about car insurance no more, Zig.
Yeah. Yeah. That's man, The Wire. What a great show.
Best show of all time.
Then we go to our next song by the Five Stairsteps. Ooh, child.
I first heard this song in the movie Boys in the Hood.
Yeah.
Yeah, the flashback scene in 1984, right before it transitions to 1991.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a dope song how they used, and they juxtaposed in the background with Doughboy and Lil Chris getting arrested. Like this ain't gonna be the first time. They're gonna get arrested a lot and be in jail and be ex-cons before they're 17-year-olds.
Yeah. And John Singleton, he did that movie?
He wrote and directed the movie. Yeah, that was the movie that was the directorial debut. That's what broke him in. And that movie, he got an Oscar nomination for Best Director for that. The youngest director to get an Oscar nod for a film. And it's culturally significant enough to be preserved by Congress. Yeah,
and a lot of actors like that, help get them onto the spot as well. I mean, Lawrence Fishburne, I think, was in it, right?
Yeah, he was. Yeah. Cuba
Gooding Jr. was in it. Was Ice Cube? Ice Cube was in there.
Ice Cube was in it too, and that established that okay, he can act.
Yeah.
Morris Chestnut. Who else? Angela Bassett.
Right. Samuel L. Jackson wasn't in that, right?
No,
I'm thinking of another. Was that 187 or?
That was 187. Yeah, where he was a teacher.
Right. Yeah, it's just an incredible movie.
Yeah, the way it was an incredible movie. Even now, and Singleton's legacy lives on through the TV series Snowfall.
Yeah, may he rest in peace.
R.I.P. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they're going to do a season 4, but they had to do season 3 even after he passed away because he had the hand he had in that.
Yeah, I'll have to finish that series. I saw like one episode and it seemed like really, really good.
It was good. Yeah, the season 3 finale, I need to watch it again because I remember being staunchly disappointed by it. Like, this is how it ends?
Yeah, how do you think it like stacks up against Power?
It's more realistic than Power. They have too many logical fallacies. And especially this final season of Power, I'm just like, what the fuck are y'all doing? And
yeah,
I can't. But I'm gonna watch this till the very end just to see how it goes out because y'all got to do me better than how Game of Thrones did me this year.
Yeah, definitely. This song, man, there's a couple of different like funny moments, but this song really, I was so surprised that they did this, and even towards like the end when you think there's gonna be like they're just gonna break into the fight scene, and he just like stops and that song comes on, and he starts dancing.
He starts dancing, yeah.
I think everyone was like, they were just thinking that was going to happen next. And then, it kind of surprised everybody.
It did surprise everybody. People in the audience were laughing. I was laughing at that too. It's like, what the fuck is he doing?
Yeah. And I just like how they they inject a lot of comedy in this movie, because like it can kind of it just makes it kind of switches it up, gives it a little more spice, I feel like.
It does. That's what makes it unlike the other Marvel movies. And plus, they added elements of like what's it called, the X-Men characters, the Starjammers.
Yeah.
Yeah, who are intergalactic space pirates as well too, led by an Earth human. Yeah, they added a lot of their adventure and a lot of their humor. They added a lot of that swashbuckling things into this Guardians incarnation as well, which is what I think.
And Michael Rooker, right? He's in
it too. Yeah, he plays Yondu. He's blue skin, which made me think he was one of the Kree, like Ronin. But nah, he's not. He's a bounty hunter as well, and he survives into the second Guardians, Volume 2.
Yeah, I like him as an actor. He's been in so many films, like Days of Thunder,
Mississippi Burning, Cliffhanger.
Yeah, I mean, he's been in so many movies, and
he was in True Detective season 3.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I think he's like really underrated. He just gets more like supporting roles.
He played Henry, didn't he? The serial killer.
Henry. Oh, in what movie?
That's the name of the movie, Henry.
Henry. Okay. Yeah, I've never seen that. But yeah, he was good in Days of Thunder. I liked him in that movie.
I liked him too.
Rowdy, I think. Yeah, and John C. Reilly's in Days of Thunder, and he's in this movie.
In this movie as well too. Yeah,
that's a good segue right there.
Not just coincidence.
Yeah, it's awesome. And then, he's playing the same John C. Reilly. I mean, like in Step Brothers, practically.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I look at him, I just see like the red curly hair and that face, and like this. That's the Irish guy I see in almost every movie.
Yeah, he's got the beer gut. In this movie, it's like
He looked that way in State of Grace too in 1990 when he was a young man.
It's so funny because I feel like he was more of a serious actor, and then he kind of like branched out into comedy with Will Ferrell and
got more known for that.
Yeah, because like he was in some serious movies like Perfect Storm. He was in Days of Thunder. I'm probably missing a few, but other ones.
Magnolia, he was in that.
Yeah, I felt like he was more of a serious actor initially, but then
Bradley Cooper, him too. I mean, what blew him up was The Hangover.
Yeah,
but he was in a lot of
Wedding Crashers too.
Before that, year before
Wedding Crashers.
That was like 5 years before. No, it's 2005. 4 years before The Hangover. Yeah.
Yeah.
But since then, even before that, he was like having guest appearances on Law and Orders and whatnot.
Yeah.
But since Hangover, his career blew up too. He's got like 3 Oscar nominations under his belt, and he can do comedy and drama and superhero films.
Yeah, I mean his range is just—he's
got range,
incredible. Yeah. So it was pretty. That's why this movie is just so awesome, and just with not only the music but the cameos that you have and like the comedy and.
Oh yeah, they bring Stan Lee in there. They had to do the Stan Lee cameo all the time while he was still alive.
Yeah, that was great. And then they have like Josh Brolin in it.
Yeah, they show Josh Brolin as Thanos at last. Yeah, I mean they showed a few other cameos in before that as Thanos, but this is the one where he had more speaking role.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just I like what they're doing with the Marvel movies. They're mixing it up. You're getting some movies like Deadpool, and then this one Guardians of the Galaxy, where it's comedy. You get a lot of comedy in it. Then they have more serious movies.
Oh yeah,
they keep it. They kind of mix it up, and they keep it fresh.
I mean, they keep the humor. Marvel Studios and all their 22 movies, they keep the humor in it. But I think this one, Guardians, is the first one where they took the real. Well, they knew they were taking a chance, and they decided to inject as much modicum of humor as they could in there, but still tell a story.
Yeah, exactly. And this scene with Chris Pratt dancing around, I was like, wow, he's really, he's branched out. He's doing more comedy, and he did a really good job with this.
He did good with this, yeah. I mean, they were going to get somebody else for Star-Lord before Pratt signed on, but I'm glad he did, because I don't see nobody else playing Star-Lord but him.
Yeah, this was funny. And then this song comes on, and you're just like, what is he doing? He's like, dance off, bro. Dance off. He's like, what? Like, Ronan's like, what are you doing? Like,
yeah, he's from the 1980s Earth, really. He hasn't evolved since then. I mean, since then it's called Pants Off, Dance Off.
Yeah.
And like, what's it called? And by Avengers Infinity War, they show just how far removed he's been from Earth for as long, how he's been away for so long. Spider-Man, the Tom Holland Spider-Man, he makes a reference to him saying, we're going to do a plan, something similar to Footloose. And he's like, exactly like Footloose. Is it still the greatest movie ever? Dude, it never was the greatest movie ever.
Yeah, I mean, you could say a lot of funny things about Footloose.
You could, yeah. Now you could, yeah.
Yeah.
And they have like a lot of pop culture references in this film too, that things that I hadn't even heard since I was a kid, like when Star-Lord, when he refers to Rocket Raccoon as Ranger Rick.
Yeah.
I'm like, I remember those Ranger Rick books. Wow. I'm like, that is a throwback.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of like pop culture references in this movie.
And he calls Groot the Giving Tree.
The Giving Tree.
Yeah.
Jeez. Then we go to our next song by Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell, Ain't No Mountain High Enough, which I think this was, another great song to put in there. Very famous. And it has a lot of positivity there.
It does, yeah. And it's a way to cap off the movie with with Quill opening the last gift that his mother left him, a gift he hasn't even opened.
Yeah.
Never even opened at all in 20 years since he's been away from Earth.
Yeah. So, I think it's just again, they're just bringing in a lot of great music. And I wonder...
The volume 2, they up the ante.
Yeah. I mean, the music supervisor that they picked for this film is... Man, he really knows his stuff.
I got to tip my hat off to the guy. I mean, he picked a lot of good things that keep me looking on my phone like, okay, what song is this?
Yeah.
And I hope they do the same thing when they do Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And James Gunn hopefully will still be on directing it.
Yeah. And, he has a music background as well. I think he's a musician. So, I think him and the music supervisor probably had a lot of collaboration and picked some really great songs.
Well, it shows, and it definitely worked because the music is a big part of the Guardians film. It helps them tell the story.
Yeah, and when you think about it from a business perspective, you can sell the soundtrack too.
You did the Guardians Volume 1 and 2, the album soundtracks. Those were some of Marvel's best-selling soundtracks they had.
Yeah, and I like how they use the tape, the tape recorder, the cassette.
Yeah.
And it said awesome Mix Volume 1.
Yeah, it's like the same kind we used to make back in the day. We used to tape the songs off the radio.
Yeah. And then with the next movie, I'm sure the soundtrack was called Awesome Mix Volume 2, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just I don't know, it's cool marketing.
It is. And the even the channels by which he gets his music. In this film, it's a cassette player, right? In the second film, it becomes a Microsoft Zune MP3 player. By the third film, Spotify?
Yeah, maybe, or like an iPhone or something. I don't know.
I don't know. Because you're right. Nobody uses... Well, I still use my iPod, but it's like... I like to compartmentalize it and doing everything through my phone.
Yeah. Maybe it's like a watch or something, the iWatch or whatever. Or
maybe.
They'll find some way to do some product placement, right? I mean,
they will. Some kind of pop culture product placement that'll keep things relevant.
Yeah. I think it's smart, though.
Smart
business.
It is smart business, yeah.
So then we go to our last song by Jackson 5, I Want You Back. I mean, this is like the classic. I think most people know this song when they hear it.
They know this one. Yeah, they chose a lot of positive R&B 70s songs at the end of the film.
Yeah, and this is played when Drax is cleaning his knife,
and Groot is growing back now, but in baby form.
Yeah, and it was just funny because he would Drax would look over and then it would
Groot was standing still. It's like that frog, the
yeah.
WB frog. Like, hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Then he starts acting all silent and shit when he has to perform in front of other people.
Yeah. So there's a lot of funny comedy there. And so Michael Jackson was in Jackson 5, right?
Yeah. He was a main singer.
And then
he was a kid. All of his brothers.
Yeah, I was surprised. I thought for a second maybe Janet was a part of it, but then I guess she wasn't. I saw her actually a couple months ago in Vegas performing.
Oh, I'd like to see her.
Yeah, dude, the dancing was incredible.
And she still got it too. She's like 50-something.
Yeah. I mean, I was just like, wow, you look the same, pretty much.
Yeah, black don't crack.
But it was a great show, man. It was just awesome.
I believe it.
It was incredible.
I believe it. Yeah, as for the sequel for the movie, The Guardians of the Galaxy Part 2, Volume 2, they use more music in there. And I think it was a better film. I think it was a better film than this one, actually.
Yeah.
Slightly better because it told more of a story. Kurt Russell's in it, and so is Stallone.
Awesome.
So I'm thinking
that's awesome.
I'm thinking Tango and Cash.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not coincidence.
Yeah, they had to do something to play off that.
Yeah, they had to. They don't got no screen time together, but anybody who's seen films will put two and two together.
Yeah, another thing I wanted to mention about this movie is the first Guardians of the Galaxy. It reminded me a lot of The Fifth Element.
There's some elements in there, so to speak, yeah.
They have one of the actors, I'm blanking on his name, but he was playing the storekeeper when Peter would come in to try to sell the...
I didn't want to sell to him when he realized Yondu or whatever was after him.
Yeah, he was in The Fifth Element, and he played one of the scientists or whatever.
He was?
Yeah, and it's just like it was funny because like the little like those little police vehicles or guard vehicles that would fly with the machine guns, kind of reminded me of like the police in The Fifth Element. And,
no, you're right about that. Yeah,
there were some elements that they like. I feel like they kind of like used or like they were influenced by.
Oh yeah, they let James Gunn have fun with this one. Yeah,
yeah.
And when with the success of it, it's like okay, you can have more fun.
Yeah. So
I'm glad they let him do that because like the same thing with Avengers. They had Joss Whedon do the first 2 Avengers films, direct them both, and write them both.
Yeah.
The last 2 ones were done by the Russo brothers, who also did the last 2 Captain America films, Winter Soldier and Civil War.
Okay.
But it's like, yeah, anybody who grosses like over $1 billion in the Marvel Studios as a director, and like you're allowed to write your own ticket. Ryan Coogler, he's another one for Black Panther.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's definitely, if you're an upcoming director, I would think it's a really good place to kind of try your hand in commercial films. It
is, definitely. I mean, Coogler, Black Panther was his 3rd film. He had done Creed and Fruitvale Station before that. Creed was a commercial success.
Yeah.
But Black Panther, that's one of the top 10 highest grossing films of all time.
Yeah. I mean, of course, man. It's incredible how well that movie did.
I expected it to do well, like typically well for any Marvel film, but not as well as it did. I mean, even it was clearly geared towards a black audience, clearly, and it had a mostly black cast. And did you see it in the theater at all, Andrew?
I didn't get a chance to see it in the theater.
Okay, because what's it called? If you did, you would have seen a lot of these black folks, black Americans and black Africans coming to it wearing dashikis and African garb. And I'm thinking, okay, how many of y'all are actually from Africa and can actually legitimately rock that right now? Because some of y'all just posing.
You crack me up, man. Yeah, I think it's a good film. I mean, Michael B. Jordan.
Wallace.
Michael B. Jordan. Sorry. Yeah, he was in it, and he was in Creed, and that guy's, I feel like
that's Coogler's Bobby De Niro.
Yeah, I think he's like you said, he essentially a film that allows you to punch your own, essentially guide your own career, and I think he's going places for sure.
Oh yeah, Michael B. Jordan, Coogler, yeah, and Chadwick Boseman, him too.
Yeah,
the guy who played the Black Panther.
Yeah. So, well, this was great, man. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for, getting me to, watch another great Marvel film and get educated on some more great music that I wasn't, initially familiar with. So,
you're welcome. You're welcome. I knew if we were going to do a Marvel film, it's like we got to do Guardians because of that soundtrack.
Yeah, man, definitely. And I'm looking, maybe we can do the second one, in the near future.
I like to as well. And the third one when that finally comes out in theaters.
Yeah. Well, thanks for doing this, man. And I'll see you next time.
All right. No doubt. You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
This podcast is available on my YouTube channel, Rotunes Reviews. It's also available on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and other major podcast distributors as well. So if you don't mind, please leave me some feedback. I'd really appreciate that. If you'd like to connect with me on social media, I'm on Facebook, Twitter. My Twitter handle is @RotunesRevs. I'm on Instagram, and I'm also on the Untapped app. My username is Brewtuned. This is Andrew signing off. Cheers. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel and follow Rotunes Reviews on Blogger, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And as always, thank you so much for your support.